The snowman watches everything you do. The snowman melts like Anna. Better hurry! Hi, YouTubers and followers and subscribers. Does that intrigue you for this week as we dive into this week's top 10 crazy soap opera plot lines? This week, we're at the fourth top 10 crazy soap opera plot line, and this one is a story about a snowman. Who here likes snowmen? Well, we're in the middle of summer right now, so it's hard to think of snowman, but this is a storyline that was called The Snowman. And what I just shared with you at the beginning was a little sample of it. So, that is going to be what we look at this week on Top 10 Crazy Soap Opera Plot Lines. But first, let's get to our introduction music, shall we? As we set this up. Well, hello to another weekly video of Top 10 Crazy Soap Opera Plotlines, brought to you by your TV guru, Jason Banks here, and welcome to yet another week. Hope you've enjoyed this little series that I've been doing for you over the summer. We've gone through some pretty crazy soap opera plotlines, and this week we're going to get into the fourth one, and then after that we're into the top 3 of all time, so we're going to see what those are all about. But this week, it's about it's again General Hospital, and what this week is entitled is called The Snowman. Okay, so does that sound interesting? So let me tell you a little bit, let me set you up this plot line for you before I show you the clips, okay? And I hope that everything comes through this week fine. I'm in a bit of a different room right now because I need a private room to do this, and right now the other room is being occupied that I usually do it in. So, so this week I'm doing it in a bit of a different room. Okay. So this week, let me set this up for you. Okay. So the Snowman. Okay, and this is all about most of this storyline is about a dude by the name of Grant Putnam. Now, Grant Putnam was on General Hospital. This goes back to 1985, his first appearance on General Hospital. It was actually a very convoluted storyline, that one, too. It involved the DVX that I've shared with you before, and a guy that was working for the DVX to get this item called a posthumous disc. This disc contains some harmful stuff on it, or something like that. Anyway, but this guy was pretending, this DVX agent was pretending to be a guy by the name of Grant Putnam. Okay? Now, actually, he was married to a person named Cecilia. This guy was pretending to be this guy named Grant Putnam. But he wasn't actually Grant Putnam, okay? So get that through your head. He wasn't actually. He was a DVX agent, somehow, for some reason, was pretending to be him. Meanwhile, Grant Putnam was locked up in this psychiatric ward because he was a psycho. Cuckoo. Yes, he was psycho. But anyway, Robert Scorpio was investigating this crime too, this posthumous disc at the time. And remember Robert Scorpio, remember him? He's the all-time hero of General Hospital. He is the police commissioner. He's a really cool dude. Okay, so this guy, but eventually they found out that he was pretending to be a nice guy, this agent, but he was actually a DVX agent. They eventually found out, but he felt so sorry. He didn't mean to do all the wrong that he had done. So anyway, he kind of got a free card after because he kind of helped them in the end. This guy was actually, because Grant Putnam was actually in a psychiatric ward, Grant this guy was named Grant Andrews. They were actually twins, though, like identical twins. Okay, so Grant Putnam's in a psychiatric ward, and we're going back to 1985 for this right now. Grant Putnam manages to escape the psychiatric ward, and he manages to get a hold of Grant Andrews, his twin, and he does something with him, and he starts to pick up his life, pretend to be him. But they eventually catch on to that as well. So anyway, Grant Putnam, though, why is he in a psychiatric ward? Well, he's cuckoo! But obviously, number one, he killed his brother. So that was one thing that he did that was bad. And then when he escaped the psychiatric ward in 1985, he killed his psychiatrist to get out. And then when he got out, he tried to kill Cecilia, the guy that was married to his twin, Grant Andrews. Okay, so he did all these things. Not a very he was cuckoo. But they eventually found out, and Robert Scorpio, the sleuth and the clever guy he was, Robert Scorpio actually put him away back in the psychiatric ward where he belongs. And so that's what happened with that one to set you up. However, let's fast forward now. This is what we're doing with this storyline to 1988. Okay, 1988, Robert Scorpio starts getting all these letters addressed to him, and they're from the Snowman. Okay, these letters that just a couple of them I shared with you at the beginning. The Snowman watches everything you do. You better hurry. Anna will melt like a snowman if you don't hurry. These kind of things that, these are kind of the letters that Robert's getting. Now at the time, Robert doesn't think much about it because he just thinks somebody's pulling a pretty good practical joke on him, and he's not too worried about it. He just thinks, I'm not worried about this. You know, like, I mean, it's no big deal. I'm not worried. Somebody's just being funny. However, what Robert doesn't know, and what nobody else knows, is Grant Putnam is out of the psychiatric ward. Da-da-da-dun. And he is the Snowman. Da-da-da-dun. Yes. So Grant Putnam's out of the psychiatric ward. He is pretending to be, he is nicknaming himself the Snowman. Okay, so Grant Putnam is very... Now, he got out of the psychiatric ward because the doctor said, oh, he's fine. You know, he's not a threat to anybody anymore. He's mentally stable, so he can just be part of society. But he really wasn't. Because the thing was, Grant was doing something with this medication to make it look like he was sane, but he really wasn't. So he got out of the psychiatric ward, and he was... He had a dagger. He had a target for Robert Scorpio because this guy put him back in the psychiatric ward, and he wasn't very happy with that. Robert was the one that put him where he was, and he figured he didn't like that. Robert had to get what was coming to him. So he devised this very crafty plan. He actually, I think, I'm going to say he bought a house. He bought himself a little house outside of town, and he started to build a fence in the basement. Cuckoo! Right? One flew over the cuckoo's nest. That sounds, he sounds a little cuckoo, doesn't he? He started to build a fence in the basement, a guarded fence. Basically, what it was going to be, he was building it up to be a prison. Yeah. Yeah, he's a really, his mind's really working well. And he also got this dog, that was a really, really vicious dog, Rottweiler or something like that. That was his guard dog, and he nicknamed it Satan. Yeah. This is what we're talking about, okay? This is the fourth top 10 craziest soap opera plotline. Okay, so this is what he did. And what was his plan? His plan is he wanted to kidnap Robert's little daughter. I think she was only about 6 years old at the time or something like that. But yeah, that's what he was planning to do. He kept sending letters to Robert with these letters. It was almost like the Riddler, right, from the Batman. He was sending these letters to him, but they were from the Snowman. Okay, so I think I've set this up fairly well. And now what he wants to do is kidnap Robin, put her in this prison he has built in the basement of his house, and eventually he's going to, somehow he's going to keep shrinking the prison. He's going to keep taking space away from it. And eventually he's going to lure Robert to the house, and I think his overall plan is he's going to lure Robert to the house just in time to see his daughter die. So that's his plan, his great plan of revenge on Robert Scorpio because of putting him back in the psychiatric ward 3 years earlier. Okay, so that's what this plotline's all about. Now I'm going to show you the clips now, and I hope they come through okay because it is. I'm going to try to get the lighting right and everything here where I am, so just bear with me on that front. But the first clip I'm going to show you here is the actual kidnapping part of the plan. He shows up at Robin's house, and Robin is at the time, she's living with her mother, Anna Lavery. Anna is married to this guy named Duke, and she's married to she's living with Anna Lavery, her mom, and her stepdad, Duke Lavery. So Grant Putnam is going to. Grant Putnam has coming into this video clip. He has just cut the phone lines outside, so the phone lines are dead in the house, and he's going to show up disguised as a telephone repairman. And this is where he's going to begin. This is where he's going to plan to snatch Robin and kidnap her. Okay. So, warning. This is a clip that gets kind of graphic. Well, not blood or anything, but it's just there's a lot of fighting in it. Okay. Now, one other thing you're going to see in this clip is you're going to see a woman by the name of Philomena. Okay. Philomena is Robin's grandmother, and she's actually taking care of Robin at this time because her parents, neither her mom or her stepdad are at home at the time. Okay, so Philomena is there, and the phone repairman, also known as the Snowman, also known as Grant Putnam, shows up at the door to begin his plan to kidnap Robin. It goes kind of wrong, though, and you're going to see how it goes wrong when I show you this clip, okay? So, here we go. I am just going to lower the lights a bit so it hopefully comes through good, and I'm going to show you the clip, okay? So just bear with me for a second as I get this set up for you. Okay, so just bear with me getting this clip set up. I'm going to lower the lights and we're going to see what happens here, okay? Okay, here we go. Here's the video clip. Okay, let's see what happens.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm with the phone company. Are your lines working? No. Oh, I was afraid of that. We've had reports of trouble all over the neighborhood. Would you mind if I took a look?
Oh, please, come in, please. Thank you. Oh, good. Oh, hello. Are you the phone repairman?
I am indeed the phone repairman. And who might I ask are you?
Robin.
Robin. Yeah, Robin, do you know much about how phones work?
Oh, yeah. You want me?
you out some of my stuff and show you my equipment.
Hey, that'd be me. Oh, no. No, I'm afraid I can't permit that. I am sorry.
Really, like this, I too am sorry.
What do you do?
Come on, brother.
What are you doing?
A little ride. You're not going to tell anybody what you did. I'm not picking up my word. Shut up! Shut up! Do you hear me? I said shut up! I've been waiting a long time for this, Robin. You're not about to walk away from me now.
Put her down. You put her down right now. Go in the kitchen, Robin.
Okay, I'm back here, as you can maybe hopefully see my face. So that was the video clip right there. I hope it came through okay. So Grant went to go kidnap Robin, but the plan kind of went awry because Anna arrived, her mother, and you could see that they fought. And Robin was very, very clever for a little girl. She hid in the closet and made it look like, and she opened the back door to make it look like she had taken off. And she actually had a little puppy that she let out the back door too, maybe thinking that the little puppy would go get her help. But anyway, Grant thought that she had left the house, so he took Anna instead. And that began the Snowman plotline storyline, okay? So what he did was he took her to the house that I told you about. And I might also want to add that poor little Robin. You know, she was traumatized from this. When they found her, she was sitting right there on the floor. And she couldn't speak for weeks. She couldn't say a word. She was just so shell-shocked by all that. So they couldn't get any clues from Robin in terms of who did this or where they had taken her. Now, Robert, it took him some time, but he did eventually figure out who had kidnapped Anna, and he started to put clues together where Grant had taken her. And then Grant did set them up to... Grant set up a trap in his house, lured them there, and the house was set to with explosives set to blow up. He was hoping to kill Robert in the explosion, but Robert, of course, was too smart for that. And then he took Anna off to this cabin up in the mountains in New York State. And it was the middle of winter, pretty cold, cabins, lots of snow, and he took her up there. And meanwhile, Duke was using his own connections to try to find Anna. Duke was her husband. He was using mob connections to try to find her. And that made Robert very suspicious of him too. But anyway, let's get to the bottom line of this. What happens to climax this story is she goes up to the mountains with Grant in the cabin because that's where he takes her. And then they eventually figure out where he has taken her, and they get up to the mountains. And it ends for a very exciting climax here up in the mountains, because what happens is Robert, along with Sean Donnelly, his good friend, they get up there and they go on snowmobiles to get up to the cabin to try to rescue Anna. And meanwhile, Duke is with a mob connection at the time. His name's Julian Jerome. They're trying to find Anna as well with driving in a pickup truck, but their pickup truck breaks down. So what you're going to see here is a helicopter landing with Robert and Sean, and then you're going to see a exciting snowmobile chase, and eventually Robert is going to catch up with Grant. And I might also want to add to you that what happened was Anna earlier before this did manage to escape from Grant. But all she had to go to was snow and mountains and cold weather. She had nowhere to go. She was very isolated where they were. But she escaped nevertheless. But in the midst of escaping, she got really cold because she wasn't properly protected, and Anna got very, very bad hypothermia. So what's going to happen here is the climax was a snowmobile chase, helicopters. It's really exciting, and they're eventually going to get Grant Putnam, okay? So take a look at this as I show you this for the last bit of my video today, okay? So here we go. Are you ready for this, people? Let's go. Okay, so I'm just setting it up here for you folks, and hopefully this is going to come through for you, and just bear with me. Here we go. So here's Anna here, okay? She did get a nice warm parka, but she's suffered a lot of hypothermia, and she's pretty confused.
What the hell are they doing down there? Come on, man, hurry up. I don't know who's in this helicopter, but I don't like it.
I might never get that damn thing fixed. Let's go back and follow the main road. I think that's where they were headed.
I don't know if this is going to work or not.
There's a frozen lake! There's the cabin ahead! I see it! I see it! John! Where is it? Out the front of the cabin! That's a snowman! My God! There! That's it! Waiting for me! There's the pickup truck! Maybe we can land on the ice! We're sitting down if we do! Call me! Tell them we're running right back to pick up the snowmobile as soon as possible and try and sail in the fall!
Welcome! Welcome, Robbie! Welcome! Isn't it interesting how sometimes when people are lost, they circle for hours and hours, maybe even days, to end up right back where they started. Welcome home, love.
Shoot me now! Shoot me now!
Don't make it easy on me, Anna. Don't make it so easy. Anna, wait for me. We haven't even had our tea yet, dear. Now, if you can drag your lifeless form near a window, you can watch me as I litter the landscape with your boyfriend's brains.
There's the trooper with the snowmobile! Take off and stay in the area and stand by. We might need you later. How do these things work? This is throttle. Yeah. Here's the brake. But first, let's take a lap around here. Yeah. You guys get the hang of it. Then into the
Okay, so there you have it. That was really exciting, eh? How many people like snowmobiles? I want to try riding a snowmobile sometime. That looks like fun riding a snowmobile. So anyway, what happened there is you could see him, Grant Putnam, losing his mind more and more. He's just nuts. And what you saw there was it looked like Sean Donnelly was hit, but he wasn't actually. He was fine. So was Robert. And the other guy that was helping them, just some local policeman up there, he was fine too. So they were all fine. Grant Putnam was getting frustrated at this point, so what Grant Putnam ended up doing was he dropped his gun and he started running because he was like, what's going on? His mind couldn't handle all that confusion. And what eventually happened was he fell off a little bit of a bridge. He was hanging on by his hands, and Robert found him. And Robert, even though he wanted him to see him, even though Robert considered just letting him die, he did rescue him because that's what a cop does, right? So Grant Putnam was captured. He was led back to the psychiatric ward where he still resides to this day, I believe. That's where he should be. So that was what happened with him. Sean did find Anna in the cabin. Anna embraced Robert when Robert found her. So happy to see somebody rescue her. Now Anna got back to Port Charles, and she was not in very good shape. She had suffered a lot of hypothermia being out there in the cold, and her heart went into cardiac arrest one time. She was touch and go for a bit, but she was fine. The doctors were able to heal her, and she was able to heal from this. Now what happened to little Robin? Robin couldn't speak for a while, but eventually Robin started to speak, and Robin was fine too. So the moral of the story was Anna was rescued, almost died, but she didn't. Robert and Sean were able to capture Grant Putnam, and that was the storyline that we're looking at this week, the Snowman on General Hospital, the fourth top 10 craziest soap opera plotline, okay? So there you have it. So I hope you liked that. So next... Well, actually, I won't be on for 2 weeks, okay, people, because I'm going to be going away on holidays. I am going to be going away for some nice rest and relaxation by a lake, and I'm going to be getting away and enjoying some outdoor weather and some summer fun, okay? So it'll be a couple weeks before you see me again, but when we come back, we'll be in to the top 3 crazy soap opera plot lines. And it's going to get even better, I promise you that, folks. So, until next time, 2 weeks from now, stay sane, and I hope you've enjoyed this. Please watch my videos, subscribe, like them, and I thank you for watching them. Until next time, take care and stay sane. This is your TV guru, Jason Banks, signing off.